What's going on? Anthony M on the check-in. I hope y'all guys are alive and well and doing good, all right? Yeah, today is Monday. It's still cold, but it's starting to warm up. Thank God, finally. You know, today feel like it's going to feel like a summer day. It's only going to go up to about 37, maybe. No, I'm sorry. It's going up to about 42 degrees today. I might have to break out the barbecue, break out the grill, man. You know, it's going to feel like summer for what we were getting up here. But what I want to talk about, I was watching a video today, okay, about, scammers. Scammers over there in, I forgot what part. Was it Indiana? But anyway, it was 3 idiots, right? They had counterfeit bills. So they go into Kroger's, all 3. They go on to Kroger's, and one at a time, one goes to the register. He gets a gift card. He pays it with a $100 bill. Now, apparently, the scammers have gotten sophisticated because, with the pen, they mark it to see if it's real. It appeared to be real. No fault to the cash register. The cashier puts it in, give him his thing. So the other one that's being a lookout, he signals the other one to go to the same cashier and do the same exact thing. Okay? And I think them two, they do the same thing back to back. I don't think all 3 did it. They didn't say that on the news. So they hit up 5 different Krogers that day. Doing crime nowadays is not worth it. There's cameras everywhere. And why would all 3 of you, well, it's good for the police. The police pinpoint them and figured it out. But why all 3 of you will go to the same Kroger's where your face is on the camera and do the same crime over and over again? I don't get it. I guess it's above my pay grade. You guys make it way too easy, okay? When I was on the job, hey, man, you could just when I was in narcotics, you could just tune in to YouTube. You had guys doing skits with pills, okay? The pill game. They were pay bare minimum for, especially the big thing when I was on the job was HIV pills. Yeah. They would buy it off of people, buy their pills, and then a lot of people that were taking that medication, they would go to the precinct, fill out a complaint report stating that they lost their pills, so in that way they can get a new prescription and get it refilled. It was a scam. You will get more out of life. It's just getting a 95. It's just easier. Make it easy on you. You stack your bread and try to come up with an idea to start a business. And I know it's not everybody, but how can you be so stupid? All 3 of you. I'm not trying to tell you how to do crimes, but you figure one would do it at this Kroger's, okay, by himself. You go in, always have some, your own cash on you besides the counterfeit. You go in, you buy something minuscule, and you also going to buy the gift card. Let me get a gallon of orange juice for $8, okay? You go in, you just need orange juice. Oh, let me also get a gift card. You be like, it's a gift for somebody. You peel off the $100, $8 and change, whatever the tax is, and you pay that. Okay, you got over. Hey, listen, counterfeit bills get circulated into money every day. Nobody's not going to think anything. It could be like, hey, he probably didn't know it was counterfeit. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you gave a couple of regular bucks in there, they're not going to know. You get what I'm saying? And then you hit the next store, somebody else, and you hit the next store, somebody else. And then you move on. You understand? That's not like a big hit type of scam. You got to do it a little bit at a time. But how stupid can you be? Especially now. I don't recommend anyone to do any crimes. You shouldn't do it. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want to go to prison away from your family and your loved ones. You're better off just getting a 9 to 5. If you got a car, hey, sign up for Uber, sign up for Lyft, sign up for DoorDash. There's a lot of things you can do now. You got gig economy now. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I had to share that with you. But today, I'm going to talk about my first 2 years on the job when I was a rookie. My first arrest was an unlicensed operator. That was my very first arrest. And I remember the captain, that came in, he was like, that's the arrest you're going to always remember, your first one. And I was like, you're absolutely right. He was absolutely right. That was the first one I ever remember. It was no big deal to that. The guy just didn't pay his moving violation ticket. So he pretty much his license was suspended, and brought him in. And at that time, things were still old. We're talking 2002. Okay. So, you had the online booking sheet, the complaint report. And at that time, we were still using Polaroids during that time to take pictures. And you had to bring them down to central booking, process them. Poor fella. I felt bad for him, just for unlicensed operators. Like, dude, you gotta pay for your tickets. All that, and you're still gonna wind up paying the fine anyway. Or at least, by the very least, go to court. You can always postpone it over and over and over again. At least in New York City. I don't know about any other places. All right, it's all different. So that was my first arrest. So moving right along, still brand new. I'm walking the foot post. They had another cop walk with me. She had more time than me. Not that much time, but she had a little more time than me. So it was early morning. So she was like, hey, want to go get breakfast? I said, yeah, let's go get some breakfast before we start our day. You're allowed to do that. So we walked to the diner across Broadway. I would say it was 158th Street. 157, 158. It used to be a diner there. I don't know if it's there anymore. 158th and Broadway. So we go in. We have a sit down. We're on foot. Nobody's looking for you. You don't have to answer any jobs. Usually the RMP, the Radio Motor Patrol car, will do it. All right? They'll answer the job. Well, if anything light that comes on your post, you answer it. If it's a heavy job, meaning a domestic violence, a robbery, a burglary, and if you're by yourself, you should wait for assistance. I mean, you can go there, but you'll respond, but you'll back them up. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go inside there by yourself. Always remember that. So, just when my breakfast come, I see a whole crowd of people following this man. This man was walking backwards. And there was a whole crowd of people walking down Broadway. It was like a lynch mob. So, then the radio run comes over the radio, and then I respond. I don't remember what post number I was. And I said, yeah, there's a man walking backwards, and there's a crowd following him, going southbound on Broadway from 158th Street. I said it nice and calm. So me and the partner at the time, we get up. So we start following him. Next thing you know, he pulls a gun out. It was in his right hand, a silver handgun. He pulls it out, and then I put it over the radio. He has the gun in his right hand. He's walking backwards, and the crowd is following him. So then all the other sector people came running, flying. You talking about radio cars? It was crazy. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't screaming on the radio. I was nice and calm, and I said, yeah, he's walking back. He wasn't shooting at nobody. I think he was trying to scare them so they could back up off of them, but they wasn't letting up. And there was a whole crowd of them. Anyway, all these cars swarmed in, and then there was an adjoining precinct, the 3-0. They stopped the guy. He stopped, got the gun, the whole 9 yards. I got there. All the bosses was there. Everybody was there. And then everybody went 98. What 98 means, they go back on patrol. The sector that covered that area, they wound up taking the collar. Remember, I'm a rookie. So I went back. Me and my partner, we were like, all right. So I went back to go get my breakfast. Thank God. The owner was great, man. He realized that we had to run out. So he made me a whole new plate. And back then, I grew up on grits and corned beef and hash and eggs. So that's what I had. So he made me another one. Good guy. I made sure I put money down on the counter because I was like, just in case something else happened. You know what I mean? Just in case I have to run out again. So next before I know it, at the time, it was the XO, not the CO, not the commanding officer. It was the executive officer. He came over the radio. The foot post that put this job over the radio tend to the command. All right? So that means go back to the command. I went back, and he was like, yeah, you put this over, right? Because you got to remember, I'm still brand new. It might have been, I might have been in that precinct for a month and a half, okay? And I'm talking about the 33rd precinct. So I'm there and I'm like, yeah, I put it over. I saw him walking. He said, yeah, it's your collar. Come to find out, he was a correctional officer, the New York City correctional officer. So I think that's why everybody didn't want the collar after that. They ran away from it. They didn't want to touch it. So now, yeah, give it to the rookie. The rookie put it over. Now all of a sudden, before they were fighting over the arrest at the scene, this is my collar. I'll take this. No, it's the sector. Da-da-da. You had anti-crime there. You had conditions. No. I'm like, oh my God. So I was just like, whatever. And I walked back to go eat. All of a sudden, it became mine. How convenient. So that's how it usually goes. I tell you, we eat our own. So, I began to do the paperwork. Come to find out he's a correctional officer. And somehow, some way, their delegate got called. They came, brought him something to eat. I didn't mind. I had the gun, the whole 9 yards. Everybody playing with the shit, with the gun and putting their prints all over it instead of leaving it alone. All right. So that was my first real arrest. Okay. I forgot how many arrests I had up to that point, but I was pretty active. I'm not going to say I was Superman, It is what it is. I just did my job. It's an arrest and it's an arrest. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That was it. If I had to write a summons, I write a summons. That was it. I wasn't extra with it. You understand? Because no matter what you do as a cop, an arrest is going to come up. During a car stop, domestic violence, someone shoplifting. It's automatic. You're going to get something. So I processed the arrest. And he was smart. He didn't, and plus he wasn't a rookie correctional officer. He had some time on. So he didn't say much. He kind of kept his mouth shut. He gave me the basic pedigree stuff. He didn't, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I had to complain it. Okay, the complainant didn't speak no English. So I needed a translator. And the complainant was saying that he was coming there to get money from him. He wouldn't give it to him, and then he pulled a gun out on him. That was the complainant. It sounded like it was like a robbery. But to make a long story short, he was actually there to collect money from a friend. And I'm just speculating here. It might have been through a gambling debt or something like that. All right. And pretty much he was the enforcer. He went to go collect. Now, fast forward, he gets processed. I bring him downtown. There's a whole thing. Fingerprinted the whole 9. I met with the delegate. I'm telling you, he's a good guy. Da-da-da. I'm like, listen, he had a whole crowd following him, and he pulled his gun out, and you had the complainant was there, okay, and you had almost a mob after him, okay. Now, and I believe the complainant, I think he owned one of those stores in the neighborhood, but don't start me lying. I can't remember. Even if I did, I can't disclose that. So, fast forward. It's time to trial prepping. It was very hard because that was my first real arrest. Out, nervous, everything. So, going through it. Long story short, he got a paid lawyer, and what it was is that, I said what I observed, and long story short, he wind up, getting off. Now, I don't know what happened to him on the job, but apparently he had another arrest before with a gun, being on the job, shooting a gun up in the air. Mind you, this was a different time, okay? this was a different time. He had time on. So you figure in the 90s, and he got collared before for taking his firearm and shooting it in the air. All right? It is what it is. But in that time, he wind up, the case he ended up getting off. In other words, he wasn't charged with, menacing with a weapon, because there was a couple of charges there. It was menacing, assault, and I forgot what the other one. The other ones were. We're talking back in 2002. It's 2025. Very vague. The only way I can remember that if I go back into my memo books that I store at home or look at the online booking sheet. But that was one of the stories. But it was weird as the crowd was following them, and I was kind of behind. I was also following too, but I was like on the side of the cars. You understand? Then next thing I know it, all these patrol cars flying by me. Even one dude jumped out the car and started running towards him. Another officer, excuse me, I said another dude. Another officer ran towards him and going through the process back and forth in court, back and forth. And he wind up, beating the case. Now, he might have pled out to a lesser charge. But that, instead of the felony, he probably pled out to a lesser charge, but I cannot remember. But those are one of the stories as a rookie that was just crazy to me. And it's just, it's mind-boggling. But long story short, the message is crime doesn't pay. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right? Whatever you need, whatever you want, it's not worth it. All right? All right. Peace and blessings. Take care.